I'm going to show you how to edit these sound effects and how to export them into an MP3. So I've just opened up Premiere, click on New Project, and then I'm going to call this Sound Effects. And I'm going to make sure that it's going into the correct folder. So I'm going to choose the location. I do want it on my desktop, and I have this sound effects tutorial. This is where I want the project saved. So I'm going to select that, and then I'm going to hit create. All right, now I'm going to import the sound effects that I want to transfer over. You can do them all at one time if you want in here. I just have one that I'm going to show you. So I got to find my sound effects folder. I'm going to go to the list view here because it shows me more. It'll help me find it faster. Right here. And then I got these seashore waves. I'm going to just take the MP3 and then hit import. And go up here in my workspace. I'm in color right now. I don't want to be in color. I want to be in editing. So that's the first thing you need to check. Here is my sound effect. Okay. Now you can make it a little bigger like this. And you can bring it in so we can really look at it. You need to crop what you don't need. So let's say this is all junk and I don't want that. Let's take all that out. Okay. If you hold Command down until this turns yellow, then it will move it over to the left like that. That's the best thing to do. Hold Command down. When the cursor is yellow, bring it in, just like this, okay? So there, I've trimmed my sound effect. It's actually really long, so I'm going to bring it in more, and I'm going to fade it at the end, okay? Okay, that's better, and it's a lot shorter. Now I'm going to export it as an MP3. So you go File, Export. That's one way of doing media, okay? Another way to do it is just hit Export up here. So I'm going to hit Export up here because that's probably the easiest way. I'm going to name this one Waves. Okay, and then I'm going to export it to the folder. Here's my sound effects tutorial. I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm going to call this Exports. Create. There's my Exports folder. That's where I want to save it. I don't want HD quality because I want this to be audio only. I want MP3. So in order to find MP3, we got to click on this little caret here. Scroll down until you get to More Presets. Okay, so click on the arrow. Go to More Presets. When you're in More Presets, you can do a search for MP3. MP3. There it is. And I just take the first one. You don't need the high quality ones. 128 will work just fine for this and most projects. So we click on 128 and MP3, click OK. And now you're ready to export. When you export it, it will export it as an MP3 into your export. So hit Export. Okay, and then I'm going to minimize it so I can show you. Let's go to my sound effects tutorial folder, my exports, and there it is. This is the file that I can turn into Google Classroom. That's one. All right, the assignment says that you need to complete 5. So if I was to complete another one, there are a couple of things you can do. You can either delete this and drag another one onto the timeline and do it that way, or you can create a new sequence altogether. And how you do that is you just drag the next sound effect that you want, put that on this little piece of paper here, and it will open a new sequence. So I'll make this bigger so I can see it. Bring it in, and then make the adjustments. Now notice I didn't hold Control. There's a gap there, so I'm going to move it over to the left. Make an adjustment here. I want it to fade out, so I'm going to bring that in. Okay, now we're ready to go again. I test it. Okay, this is my second sound effect. So I can go up here to export. I can call this sound effect 2. Okay, I would actually like you to name it. So wave, we'll call it wave 2. That way we know what the sound effect is when we go to use it later. Is go into my exports folder. I can already see that, so I don't need to set that. And look, the MP3 is already set. So you really only have to set it once. Hit export, and now it's done my second one. And you can check that by going to sound effects Looking in the export, there it is, wave 2. So now I have my second one ready to go. So I want you guys to do this with all of your sound effects. Make sure they are MP3. That's going to be the easiest thing to play them in. And then we'll play them when we come back from break. We'll play some of these sound effects. All right, let me know if you have any questions.